Hello, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, people. And today is the start of the Graham Potter era, people. We are reacting to his press conference. The first of two videos today, and we also got a live stream with Prime at 10 p.m. People, make sure to leave a like on this video and make sure to subscribe if you're new. We're trying to hit 1K, and big up to everyone that was on the celebratory moment of the Bozo Lopetegui getting sacked. Um, Big up to everyone that was on that stream yesterday. Had a lot of fun doing that. And hopefully we don't have to do that anytime soon because new manager, you'd hope that we got this one right. I think we have in terms of at least some form of stability. But this is going to take some time regardless as this guy has been hired in the middle of a transfer window. I'm not expecting too much straight away. Um, I know a lot of rival fans are going to cook us if we lose a one game or two games in a row under Graham Potter. But I'm looking forward to it. I actually can't believe he's our manager, to be quite honest, in terms of the fact that I can't believe Lopetegui's gone. So I can't believe we've got Graham Potter as manager. I thought it's not like we struck gold or anything. I'm not saying we should get too ahead of ourselves. I'm just saying like it's a good fit for our squad. I feel like it's a good fit for some of the profile players that we have. Um, I don't know, but I think people are going too far about be excited and all this. Like you can be excited if you want to. I'm not going to tell you how to support West Ham. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. I'm a bit more of a pessimist myself. So that's the reason why I'm not like overly excited because I always look at a glass half empty sort of thing. But let's get into it. Obviously, I can't bring up the questions up and I can't react to it as a video because copyright. So I'm just going to read it like I usually would. And this is his press conference that happened at 9 a.m. today. The first question is on his emotions. He's very excited to be in charge of this amazing club. I wouldn't go that far. It's a bit like Christmas for adults. I didn't sleep much last night because of the excitement. I can't wait to meet everyone and get going. Man said he didn't sleep. Do you know what it is? I think also managers like they probably didn't sleep. I don't know whether it was because of the excitement, but obviously he probably is gassed to get back into work. But ideas already forming into the head. You can tell he just loves the game, sort of thing. Potter's asked about his reasons for signing. It's been 20 months or so of good rest and conversations with different people. It was important I chose the right option for me at the right time. As soon as I spoke to West Ham, it felt right for me. I'm really excited to be at an amazing club with a brilliant fan base. I think it's a good fit. Yeah, just don't go on Twitter because then you won't think it's an amazing fan base. The boss is asked about his ambitions. There's tradition and demands here and recent success. That's what we want to work towards. It's my first day, so I need to meet everyone, and tomorrow's match will be my immediate focus. It's very difficult to ask him to even take care of this week's match, but we don't hire interims. This uh, ownership refused to hire an interim. I would have been happy with a interim for one game and just let Graham Potter, do the whole sitting in the stands thing and then just work on Fulham. I would have been fine with that personally because we're probably going to lose tomorrow anyway. But we'll get into that later because that's going to be the other video today, and we'll have more content about Graham Potter over the weekend as well. But my whole thing is with this as well. It's like as I said on the stream yesterday, it's probably the worst time to hire and sack a manager. Even though I wanted Lopetegui sacked, I'm just happy he's gone because this club doesn't do things the way I want them to do it right before an FA Cup game. That's a cup I take serious, man. That's a cup I've always taken serious. That's a cup that I've always wanted to see West Ham win. Obviously, very unlikely, but we don't. It's not like we've even tried to go for the FA Cup in my lifetime. I'm gonna go through that another time, but I don't know. The FA Cup runs have been terrible, man. Terrible. But he also said, I think if you can create a team that the fans identify with and get everyone aligned with that we want to achieve and build trust, that's key. Do you know what? I know he's notoriously boring in press conferences here, but he's going to be better than Lopetegui because Lopetegui was genuinely the most robotic manager ever. He was more boring than Pellegrini. Bilic had some form of character. Avram Grant was just a. I don't even want to say that word, but I didn't watch his press conferences then because I was 7. Sam Allardyce was a character. David Moyes was a character, but he knew how to handle the English press. He knew not to get tied in with some of the headlines that were going to be put on him and stuff. The next question is on conversations with Karen Brady. I spoke to Karen as a member of the board. She was one of the people I spoke to. Like everyone, I was impressed with the professionalism and the desire to work hard and improve. He has to say that. Potter was asked about his staff. Now, funny thing about this, Obviously, the club have to word it different on their websites and stuff like that as well, because that's why it's probably better to watch the press conference rather than just reading it off the website. But I've already seen this question because this was the question about Tim Steidten and what was it like? What's it like? About to work with Tim Steidten and stuff, with him having problems with the first two previous managers. I want to say this year, just quickly about that. Well, Moyes was not Steiden's man. Uh, Steiden came in after Moyes, way in after Moyes, and also both of them were just trying to do their job. Moyes was like, "Okay, I've got a few games left. Can you please just get off the training ground?" And also Steiden's like, "Well, I'm going to look for other managers, aren't I? Because the owners literally said to me, um, that we're letting this manager go. So they're both just doing their job. I think the bit more of a big deal was made out of that than it actually was at the time. I know there's a lot of divide about Moyes versus Steiden that there was last season, but that's what people do on Twitter for you. Um, with Lopetegui just scapegoated a technical director, even though he was the problem, and they were arguing since August. People can talk about, but Steinen came out against in an interview before the Chelsea game and be like, "Oh, that he proves on Lopetegui, he has to say that. He quite literally has to say what he said in interviews." Do you expect him to go, "You know what? This guy's actually fucking shit"? Do you expect the technical director to say that? They're not going to say that. But anyway, he kind of swerved the question, Graham Potter. I just talked about the staff he's bringing in. So Bruno Salter, who was interim coach for a couple games at Chelsea um, in that time in the 22-23 season where Potter got sacked and Lampard was the interim. Uh, Narcis Pil, I don't know how to pronounce that, Pilach, who's I think just got released from Stoke City. That was a former coach with Graham Potter, and Billy Reid. I recognise that name. I think that's the bigger guy. Um, and that's the core group, and I'm looking forward to working with the staff who are already here. That's referring back to like Steinen and stuff, and like that's his way of answering the question. Notice how Xavi Valero is still here. So Ben Roberts stays where I think Ben Roberts might still be at Chelsea. I'm not too sure, or he might just be unemployed. But for all the Chelsea fans that want us to get Ben Roberts and Robert Sanchez, that ain't happening. That ain't happening because Ben Roberts ain't there. Ben Roberts is not coming to West Ham. So thank God for that. And we need to be aligned and work together. In the Premier League, there are top people, so we have to be together, and I'm confident we will be. The boss is asked on why West Ham was the right fit. I don't think there was a specific thing. It was a combination of factors. It was the board's trust in me, the squad, the academy. That's an important thing that was just said there. And the work of Mark Noble. And the supporters, who are loyal and knowledgeable. It's a family club as well. And I love the feeling of fighting together. When you add everything up, it was a good fit. I think we used to be a family club. I don't know about now, but oh, shit. I just made my screen way too big. Um, I don't think we're a family club anymore, but it's important that you mentioned the academy there because whoever was going to come in next the plan was to lower the age range of the squad anyway, which we did do because we were the top three oldest squads in the Premier League last season in the 2023-24 season. And as much as we also bought experience like Guido Rodriguez, like Fulkrook, and Kilman is somewhat experienced, but he's 26. Wan-Bissaka's 26. Tadimo's like 24 or some shit. Somerville's like 21. Who else did we buy? I don't even remember. Guilherme's like 19, 18. Like we did lower the age range. We have a lot of 30, 32-year-olds, etc. that are at the club, and it kind of showed last season. But that's what Moyes wanted, an experienced squad. He has a fetish for old people because he's old himself. However, with this, we've tried to lower the age range, and we haven't got the right manager to work with young players. Now we do with Graham Potter, and we have the right group of academy players that we can actually bring through now. That obviously you've seen Ollie Skulls play a couple games under Lopetegui because Skulls has been one of the most exciting prospects over the past few years for a time now. He just had a big injury that brought him out, and people thought people like Casey were over him and stuff like that. Caden Casey's another one that's a very good player, but also it's a case of he's a good prospect. I think he can be a good squad player. I'd be happy with Casey being in the squad. But I keep an eye on Lewis Orford. And listen, I hope I'm right. I hope I'm right when I say this. Lewis Orford is one I'm going to watch out for, one of the academy grads that might come through under Graham Potter because as I mentioned before, as I mentioned millions of times, that Graham Potter uh, needs technical midfielders in deeper areas, especially. He doesn't have that at this club at this current moment in time, unless he's going to play a pivot of Paquetá Soler, which I don't think he's going to, and I don't expect him to. But that is probably the best fit, like because people like Edson Alvarez, Guido Rodriguez, and Thomas Suchek are not the right fit for his system, and it's not just me. And people are going to be like, "Oh, Mike's is going at Suchek again." I'm not. I'm just saying the right fit for the start of play, etc. He might be able to get Suchek to work, just because of his goal threat, and because Suchek doesn't really uh, lose the ball when he's around the right midfielders. But if you want to move forward under this manager and develop his style of play at this club and really go with his own identity, then I don't think he's going to have much of a future here. Neither will Edson Alvarez and Rodriguez. They're not good on the ball. Um, I don't think Rodriguez is terrible on the ball, but he's just a whole load of nothing. And as I said before, I'm going to mention it again. Think about the midfielders that he's had at the at Brighton and Chelsea, because I don't remember his Swansea squad too tough. I know he had Nathan Dyer, I know he had Daniel James and stuff like that, but I don't remember many of his players. I think he had Matt Grimes. Matt Grimes is technically sound for the Championship, I think. Um, but him at Chelsea and what's it at Brighton, he still had Jorginho, Enzo Fernandez, Kovacic, etc. Um, at Brighton, he had Lallana, Mwepu, Caicedo, Bissouma, McAllister, Pascal Gross. These are all technical players. all players that are good on the ball, um, and stuff like that as well. All can play through a press. That's what he's going to have to coach, and we're not. And don't expect anything tomorrow. If you're a West Ham fan watching this, don't expect anything in the FA Cup. I shouldn't have to tell some of you, but some of you are going to be straight on the manager's case um, when it comes to the FA Cup game. I will understand if you criticize his team selections and stuff like that, but at the same time, this is at this current on the current day we're speaking right now. This is first training session. He's just meeting people. I don't know. I don't even know what he's meant to be doing. Like what he's gonna do today. Like, is it just a fitness thing? Is it just a He can't really do anything tactical today. I don't think, because we play tomorrow. We don't even play on like a Sunday where you've at least got a couple games. Like at least after today, our next game's on Tuesday, so you got Saturday, Sunday, Monday to do that. But I can't wait until we get to like the fourth game where I don't remember. I think we play Crystal Palace next Saturday. I think he has a full week to prepare for the next game. I'm waiting to see the outline of the style of play for that game. So we've got to be a little bit more patient. However, this is West Ham. But that's just a little bit of a ramble. But we've got to expect a bit more of technical quality in midfield. And with Potter, best our young players. Maybe you could bring through a couple young players. And swerving back to my point, Lewis Orford's a technical midfielder. Plays good in deep areas, technically sound, and was got a new contract, and was promised, first team football when he signed his new contract. So I expect him to get first team minutes eventually. Maybe not this season, but people like Freddie Potts is coming back next season. He's a good player. George Earthy's coming back next season. He's a good player. That's the players I expect to come through. And I don't know, maybe a Gideon Kadoa and Callum Marshall also have a future here. But I think Skulls, Casey, Orford, Earthy, and Potts are probably the most likely. Yeah, the next question is on his previous experiences. I heard Pep Guardiola says he still has things to prove. So I think there are always things I can improve. That's a good way of thinking about it. And also, Potter's quite a young manager, so I understand why he thinks he can improve anyway. I feel like this is going to be... Actually, I'll go on to that in a second. Let me read this. You always want to make things better, and that's the same in all walks of life. I think I'm a better coach as a result of my experience at Chelsea and from my entire career. The break has given me a chance to reflect, and I'm delighted to be here now. And onto that as well. It's probably a lazy comparison, but maybe this is a good time to compare it to the Eddie Howe situation where he was sacked at Bournemouth after the relegation. He was there for a very, very long time, and it probably just came to an end. But he also got a bigger job. He got a Newcastle job. He's been the only appointment of the Saudi ownership. They sacked Steve Bruce, so they got in Eddie Howe. And Eddie Howe went to Atletico Madrid's training sessions and stuff like that to learn more on like defending and stuff like that. Because Eddie Howe was just a an attacking coach that didn't really care about defending too tough. Like not necessarily like the Bielsa mode, but he was very on the front foot, just the front foot. Now he's quite balanced. Newcastle are very balanced, uh, focused on physicality as well. Very tall team, and Newcastle know when to press and when to see games out. Very good coaching from Eddie Howe. And as much as they struggled at the start of their season to get to in terms of performances, they still got results, and now they're getting results again. They're very informed. They're the most informed team in the Premier League right now, and they haven't really spent anything. I'm expecting not exactly the same because that's not how life works and that's not how football works. But Graham Potter, I'm expecting him to learn, but I'm expecting him to stick to his principles as well. And hopefully, we see something similar to what we saw at Brighton. Um, yeah, next question. Potter is asked about taking over mid season. Every situation is different, but the experience I've had is good because I'm a bit wiser. I've had the experience of coming into a job at a time like this. He came into the Chelsea job a lot earlier, which was still easier for him then than it is now, in my opinion, which is why I'm going to give him more time. There's no good or bad time, and when the opportunity comes up, you have to take it. The boss is asked about his approach on the pitch. Balance is the key word. You can be attacking, but if you're conceding goals, that's a problem. That's exactly what I want to hear. That's exactly what I want to hear, because the first thing that came to his head is attacking, but obviously we've even seen at Brighton. He's put on defensive masterclasses at Brighton. I'm gonna talk about this briefly before I get into the rest of it. I remember the game specifically against Antonio Conte's Tottenham in Conte's first season, and it was at Tottenham's ground. And obviously, they play a 3-4-2-1 or 5-2-3, however you want to say it. What Graham Potter did, he put their two centre mids to just man mark their two centre midfielders. So, well, I think it actually might have been the front two to mark their two midfielders of Brighton. I think it might have been Mopai and Welbeck or Mopai and someone else to just stand in front of the Tottenham midfielders. So it cuts off all passing lanes through the middle and just put Basuma on Kane because Kane loved to drop deep. So put your number 6 on them, sort of thing. So they didn't get outnumbered in midfield. He can be pragmatic like that. They ended up winning 1-0. I'm pretty sure Trossard scored the winner. So he can put on those kind of masterclasses as well, but also play football. Like he had Mark Cucurella in the back three, doing his thing and still getting into advanced areas from that centre back position. So I'm very curious to see how he's going to work with this team in terms of that. But carrying on with what he said, of course you want to attack and score goals, but like in life, you need balance. I'm looking forward to meeting the players and learning about them, and I'll do my best. Listen, just get the best out of what you have for the rest of the season, even though I want good football, because that's how to get the best out of these players, in my opinion. Just do what you can. The next question is about building trust. I think you've got to come in and create a team that supporters recognize and identify with. And that's the process of coaching. You kind of already said that already. Results are always the best way to convince people. But when you get to the point where everyone knows what to expect and there's belief, that's what you want. It sounds easy, but it isn't. We need to work and show that togetherness. Then the supporters will buy into that. Fair. That's fair enough. Can't dispute that. And lastly, Potter is asked about being linked to other jobs. I consider myself lucky to be here, and I'm thankful to be here. I apologize that everyone's sick of me being linked to other jobs. During a break, you reflect on the rumours, but there's nothing you can do about that. I'm proud to be here in this position. I hope I can do a good job, and that the supporters will be positive about me. So far, the reaction has been touching, and I can't wait to crack on. And that was it. Obviously, you done our first interview as well. Probably just gonna read that off camera, but on that as well, he rejected Ajax, he rejected Leicester. I'm pretty sure he rejected a return to Brighton. I could be wrong, but I think he rejected a return, which I said he should go back. I said Leicester should hire him. I didn't think he'd take the Ajax job, but I don't know why. I just didn't think so. I think he would have wanted not a bigger job because Ajax is a big club, but a team in a bigger league. Because I feel like he still deserves that, in my opinion. I don't really dispute his Chelsea reign a bit that much. To be fair, there was still Chelsea were in a huge transition under a new ownership at the time, where half the squad wanted to leave, and half the squad wasn't good enough, and it was very hard for anyone to come in at the time and do anything with it. I'm pretty sure he kind of got sacked in January. He actually drew with us. We were struggling as well at the time. The amount of times this guy outplayed David Moyes. This guy always tactical masterclass. David Moyes. Every fucking time. But anyway, people, that is it from me. That's the first video of today. I will give you the Aston Villa preview later today as well. But also, we've got a stream with Prime at 10. And yeah, leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you're new. Trying to hit 1K this year. So if you can subscribe, that would be great. And I'll catch you later. Peace.